Good morning, everyone. This is Don. I'm in Kingdom 410, and we are doing an update on our little How to Be Better Than We Are series that I've been putting together. For the last year, have been watching lots of Kingdoms, and some of it I do more watching than everything else. And I've been criticized by the people that I play with regularly, that I don't always vocalize what it is I'm about to do, uh, despite the fact that what we do tends to work out really well. I've learned over 50 years it's hard to explain somebody that I'm on step 9 and we're talking about step 1, and trust me, things get lost in the translation. So I've tried to do a little better with this series by first highlighting the problem that I'm going after, letting the problem fester in itself and become what it is. So I'm titling this one, it's a cookbook, or to serve man. That's, or to serve kingdom, maybe I'll title this one. For those who don't know what the reference that is, and that would be most of you guys that have got phones in your hands, Google up to serve man. Because that is what we're talking about here, right? We're talking about leadership and serve. And you hear to serve man, and you do not get the cultural reference from the Twilight Zone. To serve man was where aliens came down and handed a book, and on the cover it said to serve man, and man rushed around and tried to find all these ways to be peaceful, and things turned around with him and had world peace in a few days and handed it to him. And then some guy comes running out and finally translated all the alien text that was inside the book and says, "Oh my God, it's a cookbook. It was how to serve man, with gravy and dumplings." And I reference that here because they don't get that. That's kind of still there's a reason that was a truism in the Twilight Zone, and some of the old sci-fi shows in the 50s were trying to point out the hypocrisy in how government officials, because you couldn't blatantly come out against your government back then. Only the United States even had the laws that allowed it, and even then it wasn't socially acceptable to do so. So you had, when movies came around, you had Hollywood, which back in the day was actually very conservative, was trying to point out like the hypocrisy of saying you're serving man, and then what you're really doing is serving them up on a platter. So what has the kingdom been doing? I've been getting these little highlight updates, and I don't know because I'm not in the rooms. I'm letting them do their thing. I'm trying to be an observer off to the side as much as I possibly can in any way that I can. So we're sitting here, and you see right there on the screen the very first statement that I was scrolling through. I just logged in this morning to do this video, and it's almost as if you hand them a script for saying silly things. We can't change it because we didn't win. I can't be a better person because I don't have the power to tell people what to do. And I'm going to translate that down to the simplest context of what that says again. What they're discussing now is whether NAP will be top 20 or top 25, and what they're really doing is trying to figure out if they want to get me included in the NAP so that I don't have the ability to attack them without them being upset about it. Because if I fall out of their little things, then I can attack anytime I want to. So they're still selfishly trying to figure out how to make it better for themselves instead of everybody else. I'm going to make it very cut and dry simple because we've gone through 4 videos and lots of little protests. KE is KE. NAP is NAP. You do a 1-day KE. It's on Sunday. It will end after KVK. We don't do any. This kingdom's rules are set up around this kingdom's event schedule. Okay, there's a little bit of variation and fluctuation between the kingdoms, and it has to do with event schedules. And I can promise you, you think it sucks on this event schedule, you should see the other kingdoms that have KVK on UAC weekends. On those weekends, they do these asinine set of on-the-fly rules. We'll have KE up until 3:22 in the morning, and then everything stops, and the top 10 gets a nap, and this happens. Don't do it. Be thankful as hell you're in a kingdom where you can establish simple rules. And I'm going to tell you why we want to keep it simple. There is the old KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. All right? KE is KE. Not a hard rule to follow. When it's KE, it's KE. If you want to go out and plunder the crap out of somebody during KE and they don't bubble during KE, that's their fault. So all you little clever people who says, well, go buy bubbles. I'm not complaining about RSS. My God, I've been playing the game for a year. I have had billions in RSS stolen. I know where the bubble button is. I know what they cost. It's not the point. The point is when the bubble should be applied. All right. So the new inter-kingdom KEs, guys, from what we understand is going to happen there, you're going to be able to spend $1 and be removed from the contest for the 2-day event. Okay. So it's going to cost you $1, but then you don't have to worry about having all your RSS plundered. All right. And that's how you're going to bubble from inter-kingdom KEs. So, and for those spinning off in the La La Land, it's a way to get more money. It's fairly cheap, and I find it to be somewhat reasonable. Play and engage the game. Play and engage the game, or pay to not be a part of the game. They're actually making you pay to not play on that one. So for those, and I had some of the big ones like, I don't know how you're gonna feel about that. It's like, I get it. You know, it's something, I understand that one. I really do. If you want to take yourself off the map so that there can't be any fluid restructuring because there is strategy and combat to the game, I get that. So let's scroll up here. What do we else got? And I've noticed all of the guys that are freaking coming in here and poking at them. And I tell you, some of the problem here, 15 badges, so useful. Guys, I see stuff like this, and I know there's no leadership. I would beg for 15 badges. Please, please, please give me 15 badges right now. That is Hero Store food. This guy's at 166 million power, and he is bitching that he got badges from something. Has no clue where he's going. Yeah. So let's get out of that. All right. So they're arguing over where. So I referenced the Twilight Zone. You know, it's a cookbook. How to serve man. They're running around thinking they're the government, trying to come up with a plan on how to make it better for everybody. And what they're really doing is they're trying to figure out who's the cook and who's in the pot. And they don't comprehend why. That's what I was going to show. Event Center. Because I think the last video I put up for this series was UAC was about to start. And I believe here we go. Killers. Kingdom 38 come in there. I think it took about 3 minutes to run over them. Now, I did see in some of the KC chat a couple days ago, and I just didn't have time to address it, and it was such a fly of the moment thing, but I'll comment on it. You've got to coin in order to be involved in these things. No, you don't. All right? I got a kingdom full of non-coiners. We do really well. We don't win in everything. We did win. We did hold our kingdom last week with the help of Kingdom 177. Some of it's about, other good people out there. And so I got to explain to you why these uber hard matches come into rotation. Some of their older kingdoms are dead. Okay, Kingdom 38 probably does not have that many players in it. When you don't have that many players in it, you don't collect any taxes. In other words, winning the crown there doesn't have any benefits to it because they don't have any coins to spend. And the only way they can get those coins is by coming in and taking your kingdoms. So Kingdom 38 come in and took 408 and 410. And for those that are new to KVK, this seems to happen in a little cycle every once in a while. The really old kingdoms get matched up against some of the younger kingdoms, and it's so that they can refill the coffers of the kingdoms up. They come in there, they take 3, and what basically you're going to do for about a month is pay taxes for 2 reasons. One, you're not organized. You weren't going to earn that. If they'd have pitted you against 409, let's say, and we'd had 3 unorganized kingdoms, everybody would have went up in the back room and agreed to keep their own kingdom so that they can continue to have their false and bogus power for all the people that didn't know how they did it. All right? If you think for a second the game doesn't know the bullshit you pull, you're wrong. So a little life lesson of prepare to get your ass whipped happens here. Now, I noticed we got notifications over in Kingdom 362 that congratulations, your kingdom was number 5 on the invasion kill list, and we actually got rewards for that, which I was surprised. I didn't know there was rewards for being in the top 10 on the kingdom invasion list. I was happier that they sent the email out to let the whole kingdom know just how bloody it was, because we couldn't have beat Kingdom 177. They could have smacked us down in under 2-3 minutes, even as big and strong as we are and as we are. Those guys were powerhouses, but they're good people. We didn't bargain with them. I want to make that clear. We didn't beg for them. We didn't ask to work together with them. They came in. They were beating up 344 for taxes. Okay. 344 was strong. They had 4 big C40s, all heavy coiners. We only have 2 C40s. I have a deeper sub-roster. We run about 100 C30s right now, and probably, another 95 to 100 C26s and ups. It's just the different things. And then I implemented something this go around that we hadn't done in the past. I didn't even tell anybody I was going to, because I don't tend to tell everybody when I'm going to do certain things. I tend to tell them if there's going to be a negative effect now, but if I'm just going to do positive things out of random, I don't tell nobody until I do it. And I watched the last two KVKs, and someone in another alliance, it was in the French alliance, named IPS. She was 26 2 KVKs ago. She was 27 this KVK. And she was there for 34 hours of KVK. Didn't falter, didn't things. Was organized, got helpful, went and found people. Just all over the place. And didn't ask her to. She just did it. And I noticed. So as a reward, I turned around and pushed her to C30 yesterday. I went and gave her all the RSS, like 30 million iron and 20 million freaking silver, to get her, not only her castle to C30, but all her troop buildings. I didn't just make her a C30, I made sure she had T10s. Okay, I even gave her some extra silver to make sure during the 300% buff that she was able to build some T10s back up. So, and I don't want it to turn into a socialism program of people begging. I was like, how do I get into that? If I notice that you're that hard of a worker, I'll just tell you randomly. We handed out titles, and we handed out loot packs, and we we're a little more political with that than what we normally would be. Normally what happens there is the hosting alliance gets it, or if you're doing some conglomeration, you acknowledge the bigs and the people who spent. You need to be acknowledging the work and the time that's spent, and not the guy who showed up and clicked the mega button. That doesn't necessarily mean they've done something for you. Especially when these KVKs go 17, 20 hours. This went a few minutes and devolved straight into. I mean, they no sooner abandoned their towers in this kingdom and went to KC chat. Said, "Well, can we start the kill event now?" Whoa, Bubba, you get all kinds of KE scores for killing a freaking KVK. That's the beauty of having this schedule. The difference winds up being is that killer monster that came in there and took those towers. You avoid him. You can't beat him. Stay away from him. But there are rules to this. There's a reason we call it a strategy game, not a war game. It is not about how you butt heads and see how it goes on. Believe it or not, guys, you had Kingdom 408. Did you know that if you went over and took Kingdom 408's tower, it would have shielded your palace? Then nobody could have took your palace. Right? No, you ran away, they ran away. He just got it for free. He didn't even have to spend the golden money that he had. I bet he spent less than 30,000 gold speeding in there just to scare you. So, gotta wonder about this because they're building their cookbook, and I really am wondering. They're still blaming. So for those that are wondering why I'm not putting updates up in here, it's because they haven't moved on to the next step yet. They're still trying to figure out how to blame. So you got KE is KE, NAP is NAP. You're going to have KE on Sundays, and you're going to try to get rid of that. I'm telling you that was the rules that worked for us for a while, but inter-kingdom KEs are coming. Those rules aren't going to even work anymore. You need to be thinking as a kingdom, how do the kingdom's bigs go out, plunder another kingdom, and since you get to redistribute it, you can either turn around and keep it for yourself, which is the mentality that's going on here, or you could build a team under you. Because having one big castle is the dumbest thing ever. All that is control and management. I promise you, if you ever fought my alliance in a UAC, and there's probably more than enough of them to watch the channels here, watching what's going on there. We've always got somebody bigger than us. I am never afraid of a castle that can smack down any one of my guys, including me. We just handle them different. They can only be in one place at a time. Just fight where they're not. I got freaking 6 points in this UAC, and I got 6 kingdoms to do it in. I got 36 places that I can be scoring points that guy is not at. Or I could go to KC and AC and whine about the big C40 that just got me. You didn't try. Avoid the thing. There's all kinds of ways to hide your troops. And I realize I probably haven't done enough of that in videos on how to hide your troops and things. And that's been a little bit selfish because I like winning UACs. It's really the reason I like the game is the UACs. And I like the Blood Wars too. I just don't like the scheduling. But and I'm probably going to enjoy the Inter-Kingdom KEs. All these were ideas that we threw down last December that I thought would be Monsters game improvements. So I better like them. They were in part my ideas. So they're coming to fruition, and I'm happy to see that happening. Actually, I think there's some much better, well thought out planning going on than what used to happen in the game. I think this is becoming a very good strategy game. The problem winds up being old versus new and how to blend it. And that's going to wind up being the room. I get asked all the time, do you think there'll be kingdom mergers? And I think, I think interkingdom KEs is the way to avoid kingdom mergers. And what do I mean by that? Okay, so here's a young kingdom, right? It's got a population it can work with. You can get down to where you have 300-400 guys who play all the stinking time. You don't even have that right now. You're such a young kingdom. You should have 800 people trying to figure out how to get involved in KVK, but you're giving out such bad advice, and you've pissed off everybody that might want to help you, that they're hating on you out of spite. You did it to yourselves. I can't help you with that. That's just is what it is. So with inter-kingdom KVKs, there's going to be kingdoms that have got 4, 5 big C40s. With the right marketing, and I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to try and help a kingdom with that marketing. Somebody like Kingdom 177, where there was magnanimous 40s and they were helpful, and when they helped us, they offered to help us. They saw we fought. They saw we were not just sitting there rolling over waiting for a handout. We didn't ask for anything. They offered to let us get our stuff back. I think the quote was like, would you like us to come in there and just stand bodyguard? All they did was come in there and park next to the guys, and they ran away. That's how big 177's 40s were. I think we fought 344 for hours, 20, 30 million troops dead, and 177 fought 344 for maybe 20 minutes and then had to sit in their towers all day. So it was, there was two of us that were just overpowered. I mean, so 344 and 362, but 344, they could have put up a fight. And we did. We got our kills for each other, and 344 was outstandingly tactical. And now 344 had its own problem. Now let me point that out too. Because like I said, we got males saying we were number 5 on invasion kills, and then we go look at the invader board and we're not there. And I think that's some hiccup on the fact that 344 was not unified. They had a full kingdom war going on in 344. So the 4 C40s we fought were not in coordination with each other. They were all trying to do something. And they came to our kingdom out of spite because they weren't going to keep theirs. They had 3 alliances, just no coordination, and it hurt them. Okay. Coordination wouldn't have fixed Kingdom 410's problem. Or, and for you guys that are in 408 that are watching this, the reason that old kingdom was matched up with this young kingdom was taxes. They don't have enough players in Kingdom 38 to pay taxes so that they can push their buttons and get the benefits and bonuses for what they've paid for from the game. Look at it from their perspective. All this whining, pissing, and moaning about how big and money they spent. They did spend money to play this game, and they've spent years. If you're in Kingdom 38, you've been here for 2 years. And to turn around and say, well, here's our new customers. Well, there are new gems out. Cost $3,000 to buy new gems. You better not even be talking about buying those damn things if you haven't gotten to the point of Flawless Darkness yet. Right now, it just got super cheap to build Flawless Darkness. That should be your sole focus if you're not a freaking super coiner. Okay, so, and I know you guys bitch about me doing these rant videos where I don't move around a lot. I'm sorry. But this is the reason it's in a specific playlist. This is an overall philosophy and advice and things for you to consider and discuss. It's not a dictate. But I'm just telling you that it is what it is. The kingdoms that have UAC on the weekends that they have KE, those are the worst, because any KC arguments turn into advantage taking. It's I've addressed in one of the videos, and I don't think I actually uploaded it yet, but guys, and this is one of the reasons I'm on here. I got to show you our strat center. Okay, so let me explain to the K410 guys where they're screwing themselves long term. I never intended the alliance that I put together in 410 to be a top 10 alliance. I have one of those. I cannot split my time to multiple events. Okay. I can offer advice, and I do pay attention to multiple Kingdom KVKs during the KVK day. One, so that I can learn new strategies, tactics. Two, so that, I have an idea what's going on overall in the game, so that I can, when I can be as formed overall as possible. But the strategy centers are still a little antiquated, and they're due for an update. Honestly, they should have, once the research thing, they should just have the cooldown timers. And the cooldown timers need to be reduced by at least 10% or more, so that when the strategy center was built, we had KVK and UAC. And the problem is things like our medical supplies. If I pop my medical supplies before UAC starts, okay, I will reduce my gold cost for the first 8 hours of UAC. It's an important time to reduce. But I must pop it before UAC starts. Or I won't have it to pop it before KVK starts. Alright? Now this young kingdom built, used an established alliance to build a KVK alliance. It was kind of my intention that we would turn around and have people that I was teaching how to play, which means that they would be donating gunpowder and doing their RGRs and doing the basics, learning the basics, doing the stuff, and it feed what would become the KVK alliance. Because you can't just have some random damn alliance. It's got to have gunpowder in it, which means it's got to have members that play the events actively. They've got to do the UWs. They got to do the RGRs and get the gunpowder. They got to loan the gunpowder, and guess what? They don't get to use it for their own selfish benefits of getting extra RSS and reducing your building timers and stuff like that. You don't get it. Because if you're going to be that alliance that everybody filters into for the KVK, then that's what happens. So then there's got to be some trust in there, because whoever the head of the alliance is picks the king. Now, for somebody like me, that becomes easy because I've got a international channel out there, and I'm not about to turn her. I can at least say, look, if I'm the guy that's going to pick the king button, I'm not about to ruin my rep, doing something dirty and underhanded like picking somebody no one wanted. We have a rotation, and my rotation standards for getting into that rotation were fairly simple. If your alliance brings a tower team to each KVK, then it's added to the rotation. It doesn't matter who pushes the buttons. They got off on this little tangent that whoever the king was gets to tell everybody what to frickin' do. Doesn't work that way. There's a piece of glass between you and them. Just like you didn't like it when a whole bunch of people from all over the world came in and told you how badly you were doing it. Remember, you were first turning around telling everybody how you wanted them to play their game. So all those people that PM'd Kara, who says that she can't fix it if she's not in charge, she is still pouting that she took so much abuse. and still can't acknowledge you started it. You just literally started it. They're doing to you what you were doing to them, and you don't like it, and you're not learning the lesson. I can't help you if you're not going to learn a lesson. And I'm hoping other people learn a lesson from this. Learn from this mistake if you ever get put in charge. You know, you've got to be strict. You've got to be stern. You've got to say no to dumb ideas that will wind up being destructive. And you've got to think to step 2 and 3. If I allow somebody to turn around and have some special rule that, okay, you're not in the top 20, so you can go all it's going to do is create drama. It's going to get people swapping alliances to do KE early. I don't know how you can't figure that out. That's why it's a kingdom-wide flat rule. That's it. There's a reason for it. Because every little dirty, stupid trick one of you children have thought up has been thought up. So it's just flat out. No one starts KE until 5, and if the KVK is still going on, it gets postponed by the person that's monitoring or in charge of KVK. And usually, our rule in our kingdom, you do what you want to for the rules, but when we secure the palace, plus 2 hours. Why plus 2 hours? I got a guy that just constantly whines, bits, and moaning. Why, when the bell doesn't ring, he can't just start slaughtering people as they get back to their alliances. With almost no troops, no marches, they're wounded, they've burned every freaking thing in their bags. They had a good fun day. It was the reason for the event. They spent 18 hours playing. They're tired. They pass out. Like, oh my God, they pass out. And they're waiting. It's like, why can't I just go kill that guy? They're all weak now. Okay, you're a predator. We get that. So plus 2 hours. That gives them time to get back to their alliances, use their strat centers, put a bubble in place, find the guy that's got the goal for a 24-hour bubble, hide what troops they got left, blah, blah, blah. Okay, give them some time to secure themselves because they don't want to participate in KE. They probably got millions of points in KE because they were involved in their KVK. KVK kills count for KE. There's no reason to be worried about kills if you were participating in the KVK. So there's no reason to have special rules. And I'm telling you, anytime you have, and I put this in a couple of the writings, and I'll say this out thing. The worst laws ever written by any man literally start with the words, with exception to. As soon as you say that, you have created a subclass. You have created a place where you've got to find a loophole. You've created lawyering. So, KE is KE, NAP is NAP. You know when you're going to know based on your weekend's event schedule when you're going to start your KE. Don't do any special split times or confusing rules like that. You've got to make them so simple that the dumbest person in the kingdom, there's no way they couldn't understand. But more importantly, you make them so simple that the smartest people in your kingdom who have no morals can't lawyer the rules. That would be the people doing swaps or dropping their tags. Okay. Somebody drops their tags and says, well, he's not in my alliance while he's killing you. Yeah, well, if he comes back to your alliance in the next 2 weeks, we're going to kill your alliance. That's how you deal with that. So, that's one of those things where I said you can't not be harsh. The minute you see them lawyer the rules, you smack them down. There has to be. We just had to do that in 362. Don't think it's all peace and love over there. I see you guys going, oh, I want to go. We just punished somebody who would come out during KVK and hit castles while all the Kingdom Bigs were freaking busy. And they'd go out and plunder during KVK. And when we secured KVK that weekend, we beat that alliance into submission every single day for 2 weeks. We haven't had a problem with that since. Not one person has gone 1 minute over the limit anymore. Because it was all in KC, and it's arguing, and it's drama, and it's mouthing. or its consequences. And we realized that when we put that rule, and I didn't really particularly care for the punishment that was handed out, but once that course was set, I enforced it like as much as everybody else. I think I took most of the blame for it. And what they don't know is behind the scenes, I was the one that was arguing against it. But once it was agreed as a kingdom that that's how we're going to punish them, my castle is there doing it too, because I will enforce whatever rule we put down or what punishment. What's funny is the other guys gave up on the punishment before I did. I said, no. You told them 2 weeks of punishment. It's 2 weeks. Your word's got to be worth your word. Now I think we kind of agreed that if we ever had to do that again, it won't be 2 weeks. But when we did that, where we burned all the way down to their C16s and their C13s and their farms, it made people who weren't causing problems go, what's going on in my alliance? Because they're not on enough. They're not seeing. It's like, why is the entire kingdom burning us? All of a sudden now it's, you got to realize a lot of stuff gets filtered by an R5 or an R4s. And there's always the best spin on things when it gets filtered inside AC. And the first thing people hear is the truth. You may give them a fact second because the lie came first, but the lie carries more weight because the human being heard it first. So the first thing you hear is the truth. Doesn't matter if it's a fact. It's just in your brain. It's the way it works. So, and I'm sorry. Let's do a flip thing. It drives people nuts when I don't even change screens. We can go in here and look at the KC chat while we scroll. So the discussion has been just so you got a lot of people without tags. So I'm assuming by seeing that we got a top 15 nap. So I guess according to their rules, I can go burn anybody anytime I want to, right? I'm not top 15, am I? I don't think I am. I know we went up a little bit, but Alliance Power 19 or something. Yeah, 19. So it appears they went into a room and decided we're going to keep the cookbook. And we're going to decide who's in the pot and who's the chef. Because they didn't get something for free from KVK. It was unfair. And for those who've been playing the game for a long time, they're going, we went 6 months. At Kingdom 312, my first kingdom, we did go like 6 months without a freaking win in the KVK. 6 months without it. That's 6 months without buffs. So, I'm going to say this with what we're doing now. I get it on the taxes with the old kingdom. I really do. I'm hoping the inter-kingdom KE has people setting up programs inside their kingdoms where they turn around and solicit new players. Okay? Since you can give RSS that you gain from plundering to another player, you can literally push up a new player and build 2 or 3 alliances, say over the course, I'm going to estimate about 3.5 months. You could probably take an old dead kingdom and put 300 or 400 good players in there. Have your bigs, have your world of C30s out there in a hurry now, and really start getting more into the strategy things. I do believe that the system's not in place to take advantage of what's coming. But for those who have been playing the game a long time, wondering how it's going to revitalize, how it's going to change for the better, your C40s are going to be worth something again if you put the effort into getting new players. That means that you're probably going to have to build a new farm and whatever brand new kingdom and say, hey, I'm blah, blah from kingdom such and such, and we have 7 C40s, and We are looking for people to move their castles over to Kingdom, let's say Kingdom 38. And then that will allow you to go in there to do what Kingdom 177 did for us, which was they could have come in there and took the third kingdom for taxes. But they did a catch and release. And we're going to start operating on catch and release ourselves. We talked that over a little bit, and I don't think we've completely settled that fact yet because we got a couple of big alliances we got to deal with. But we got no pushback against it to where if we're running over the competition, we're going to still run over your competition. But at the end, just before the end, we're going to probably hand your castle back, your palace back. The point is, we beat you, and thank you for the fight. It's good sportsmanship. It's part of what we're doing here. This part of what this series is about is learning good sportsmanship. But we can't even get to the sportsmanship conduct if we can't get you to understand basic morals. That other people are not your pawns just because you choose for them to be. And just the language that I saw from Akira even this morning, she hasn't learned anything. It's just she lives in a world where if she's not in charge of what's going on, nothing's right. So she's still heading down the road of being the focus of this problem because she is vocally the focus of this problem still. And just for an update, because this is an update on that as well, she has not reached out. She has not asked. She has not apologized for the way she behaved. She has not apologized for starting it. She has just literally blamed me because she did something and I have a different weapon. I warned her. I said, you don't want to go down this road with me. I will make this a lesson for all of Guns of Glory. And we have. I have been absolutely impressed by this. Keela here, who is now carrying our tag, was actually the first king. And she reached out to me. She's now in the alliance. And she's a good indication of what a big is in here. And there's some things we're going to do to fix her. And I promise you by the next KE that messing with her is going to be a bad idea. I don't have to build a C-30. I don't have to do this stuff no more. I got somebody that wants to make this kingdom better, and that's Keela right here. She wants us to be better. So I'll make her strong, and I'll make it so that she knows how to look at other people and make them strong. You got to start with building a tower leader. That's why I came into the kingdom 5 days early to say, okay, guys, KVK's coming. How about we talk about setting up a strategy? I didn't expect them to win their KVK. But I also didn't expect to walk into a mess to where if they didn't win it, the whole world was against them and it's all everybody else's fault. Oh my gosh. Take some lessons from history. I honestly take some lessons from the fact that you didn't get taught history. Go onto YouTube and look up how to serve man. And then you will get a reference to what I'm talking about here, what you've done. It's a cultural reference at that point. You guys are all about cultural stuff. Wonderful thing about YouTube now is you can go look that stuff up. So this is Dawn, Kingdom 362. I want to say congratulations to IPS and Kingdom 362 for all the hard work she did. She deserved that the push to C30. She was going to get there all on her own. It was just going to take her another 2-3 weeks, and then she wouldn't have been able to get the buff to build T10. So that next KVK, she's another one of our C30s with T10s. And it's a night and day situation between this kingdom. They're over here trying to figure out how to steal RSS from Littles. And over in Kingdom 362, I'm giving RSS to Littles. We're winning, they're losing. You've got to think in 3-month chunks, or you're not in a leader position. If you are showing up to KVK the day before, telling everybody how you used to do it in your other kingdom, you're an idiot. I don't know how anyone else to put that, because you only know what you saw, and odds are you saw it from the outside. The odds are you left the kingdom because it wasn't going that great for you. There's broken things, if you show up to KVK and say, well, this is what we did wrong in our other kingdom, could we not repeat that mistake? That's good advice. That is, I don't have all the answers, and these KVKs are fluid. It changes in real time. I get people asking, like, what do you want me to do? Until something happens, I don't know. I can coordinate a KVK in real time, but I don't know what's going to happen next minute, next 10 minutes, next 15 minutes, next 3 hours. I'm prepared for about 20 dozen scenarios, as best as we can be prepared. Would I like to have 6 C40s all with 4,000 stats? And wait till them 4,000 stats come out, because that's coming. The new gems just dropped. We're going to see some 3,800s and 4,000s. And you think people are going to whine now? They still don't understand them show stats. Be working on your flawless darkness gems, guys. Kingdoms your kingdoms under 300s, your 300s and pluses. You still need to be working on your flawless gems, your flawless darknesses. Do not get caught trying to buy that new stuff. It's out of reach. The money you would spend there would be better spent in other places. So, little simple advice on that one. I know that new patch just dropped while we're in the middle of all this stuff. Down at the bottom right-hand corner, click subscribe. This is Don, Rogers Raiders. Thank you.